The millennial generation is relying more and more on text messaging and social networks in order to communicate. But is that hurting their ability to read body language? And if so, should we even care?
It definitely is. There's research out of the University of Michigan that's looking at empathy levels, and they have been declining for 30 years. They are crashing for the last 10 years. And part of being able to read and rely on empathy signals has to do with being able to read body language.
And so what can parents do in order to help their children start being a little bit more perceptive in terms of body language and picking up on what other people think based on their actions?
Well, first of all, it's probably the easiest, but also stuff that isn't being done right now, and that's have dinner as a family.
Oh, that's a new concept.
Yeah, I know, wild, isn't it? There's other research that said if you dine as a family 5 nights a week, that those kids are less likely to take drugs, they'll do better in school. But one thing we know for sure is they'll also be able to socialize, pick up cues, and develop empathy with family members. Another thing you can do, of course, is tell your children that they'll get along better with their friends, with their teachers, and with their family if they will learn to understand what people's body signals that are being sent mean and how people are reading their body language.
Can you give us an example?
Well, sure. If you knew, for instance, that I'm your mom and I was angry with you, and I didn't have to say it, it was just in the way I looked at you, and you could pick that up, you would know to walk very softly around me for the next few minutes, and that would make our relationship much better.
But it's also really important for parents to lead by example. So not only telling your kids to do it, but also leading by example.
And that's how we learn, by very little by what our parents say, truthfully, mostly by everything they do. And if you've ever watched Super Nanny on television, she does a wonderful thing whenever she deals with children, and that is she kneels or she sits, and she tells parents to do the same thing, to get on that child's eye level when you want to hold their attention or have a conversation. Also, make eye contact and give that child your attention. That means that you shouldn't be on your smartphone or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, that you need to not multitask or fidget when you're dealing with your children. Also do things like lean in to show that you're interested, but make sure that you don't lean into that child's bubble, because we all have these invisible...
This is my space.
That's right.
That's your space,
And your child has that also. So uninvited, that's not a very good thing to do, but leaning forward slightly is a very positive signal. And you can use your head. Just by nodding or tilting your head, you can encourage people to speak more. The other thing to do, and this is particularly, I think, important with teenagers, is take the judgmental body language statements out of your repertoire when you're dealing with them. If you sit like this and you're asking them to give you some information, you're very unlikely to get it, because you already look judgmental and closed off. So remember to sit like this. Open your body, let them see the palms of your hands, uncross your legs, and let them know that you're really on their side, both with your words and with how your body looks.
So what does this all mean for business?
It means that the millennial worker, those people that are coming into your workplace, are the same people that in college were getting lower empathy levels, that have a reduced ability to read body language. And if they're not getting trained at home by their parents, that training is going to fall right into the lap of your corporate America. And already colleges and universities are picking up some of that slack and putting in nonverbal communication classes, particularly for business students.